A conversation with State Senator Sharon Nelson from the 34th Legislative District.
Well, first of all, we're facing a budget crisis. We're facing $4.6 billion deficit in revenue for 2011 to 2013. And that means we're looking at critical services like child care for working parents, as far as our basic health plan, hospice, as well as cutting K through 12 education and funding for higher ed. It's a true crisis right now, and it's one I'm very concerned about. I look at our paramount duty as far as our schools and funding for our schools. And that's important, and yet if we have children who are not fed and who don't have dental care or medical care, they can't go to school and be healthy. So this will be a real balancing act, and a lot of the decisions we're making are going to be very difficult. I look at this as the next step forward from our 2008 Safe Children's Act. And what we're taking a look at is identifying the worst toxics in children's products and toys, the top 50, and then working with manufacturers over the next 4 or 5 years and figuring out what the alternatives will be. We had our first hearing yesterday, as I believe you know, and what we found was Washington Toxics came through and even showed us baby sheets right now that actually have formaldehyde in them. So it's an important step to get those out of products that our children are going to be using or maybe even sleeping on. That's a bill that will be introduced this week, and what we're taking a look at is creating jobs, solving problems for our local governments, and cleaning up our waterways with this bill. Right now, our local governments and state government are facing new federal guidelines under the Federal Clean Water Act. We need funding for that, and we need new infrastructure to actually clean up our rivers and Puget Sound. This bill will create jobs through our local governments investing in infrastructure and raise about $100 million. And the folks who are going to be paying for it are those who are actually producing the hazardous substances. So we call it polluter pays. Right now we have a lot of initiatives that go on the ballot, and those are important to our citizens, but it used to be primarily the folks gathering the signatures were volunteers. Now they are paid signature gatherers, and we want to make sure that there's accountability when they're collecting those signatures, and that we limit fraud and make sure that when people are signing something, they know who they're dealing with, so they would be registering with the Secretary of State. They could either call my office, which is 360-786-7667, or always by email, sharon.nelson@ledge.watica, and of course you can always just give us a call and stop by our office as well.